Welcome, everyone. This is Positive News, and welcome to DDO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in DDO and on the tabletop. And please welcome my co-host from Ravenloft, Dracula.
Hey now, everybody, how's it going?
Hello there, Drac. How are things going over in Barovia?
Me, yeah, same old, same old.
Hey, considering that some of the ways it's been for the last few weeks, I think meh is a bit of an improvement.
That's very true. So we've gone from what the hell to me.
Then let's go and see what's in the news this week. But apparently we had a little bit of an update 48, patch 3, and anything useful in here?
The Snowpeaks Festival.
The Snowpeaks Festival?
Yay! A new festival has arrived in DDO. That's not all for this patch, but this was pretty much why the patch came out today, so they could kick this Snowpeaks Festival.
This is the new festival, then.
The new festival is here, and we'll talk about that in a second. Elsewhere in the patch, though, besides the Snowpeaks Festival, we did have a couple other little fixes. Several sources of effect-related game performance degradation, i.e. lag, have been identified and corrected.
Ooh.
So yay! Maybe the game will run better now. We'll see.
Okay, but that's effect-related game performance. So
Yes.
Therefore, if the game performance is not due to an effect, then it won't be helped.
True, and they didn't really say exactly what these effects related to game performance degradation. That's a big long words they use there. So we'll see if it improves things.
I would presume that meant that if you had a large number of effects on your character at the time, it would cause lag.
Could be. I don't know. We'll see. I haven't played since this patch, so I guess we'll find out tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Also, in the patch today, the Fear spell now has a capped duration of 8 seconds when it's cast against players. Okay.
Capped duration of 8. Oh, actually, considering how some Fear spells I've run into had durations a lot longer than that in the past, maybe I should be happy about this.
Well, apparently you have something to be happy about. Maybe this one, too. Greater Color Spray in the Fey Dark Delusionist Enhancement Tree now has its proper saving throw.
All right. I don't think I've gotten a character to quite get that spell yet, but
I didn't think you were quite up that far in the tree yet to get that, but
yeah.
Well, now you'll have your proper saving throw will be waiting for you. Also, spells and abilities that block a magic missile will now correctly block chain missiles, secondary cast portions as well. So that's a good thing. Reaper boosts now last their listed duration of 30 seconds. Reaper physical resistance rating now boosts its listed 10, 20, 30 PRR. Renewal now affects Undead and Warforged players. Let me read that again because I messed that up. Renewal now will affect Undead and Warforged players. That's better. The enhancement DC display in the details plus tab no longer looks for transmutation bonuses instead of enchantment bonuses. Resistance augments now scale correctly, and daily gold rolls for the recently ended Season Pass program have now ended.
The daily gold. Season pass people have had daily gold rolls during that period.
Yes, if you bought that season pass, which was like $200, I think.
Yeah.
And you got it for a year, you got daily gold rolls, but that is now ended. Yeah, it was kind of almost worth it just for the gold rolls, to be honest. But
if you like daily dice,
yeah, I mean, and if the RNG is kind to you, but yeah, there's that. Anyway, that is over. But yes, as we did say, the Snowpeaks Festival has arrived. There is a link in the show notes that you can go over on DDO.com. They put up a little festival guide. It's pretty much straightforward. As you kill things, you're going to get a rare chance that coins are going to drop. You also might get a special champion that is going to be mixed in with the monsters you fight. When you kill that champion, you're going to get a chest, and that chest might contain a frozen key. You can turn all of that into Flurry in the Hall of Heroes, who's a new NPC, and that's going to give you access to the Snow Peaks themselves. And then you go in there and you kill monsters, you run around, you collect coins, and then you trade all that stuff in for some goodies. That's the sum up version of what the festival is.
So this is something similar than to the Halloween thing that they have?
Kind of, in a way, yes. Other than the champions can spawn like in any quest, so there's not like a special area you have to go in just to collect keys like you do in Night Revels. But it's kind of the same in the same vein of that, I guess you can say, because once you have enough stuff, you can enter and then you can go in and trade for all of the goodies, which the reward list for January 2021 includes a festive augment of charisma, festive augment of dexterity, Ruby of the Snow Peaks, and that is going to add freezing ice and cold damage to your weapon. Ruby of the Iron Hand adds cold damage type bypass. You can also get a craftable trinket +5. You can get Festival Armor, Festival Crown, Festival Cloak, Crown of the Frost, a Snowman Pet Certificate, a Polar Bear Pet Certificate. Also, cookies are back. Yay, cookies. Candy canes, a Snow Elemental Gem, and of course you have icy potions of jumping, haste, superior freeze 5, chill shield, featherfall, protection from fire, resist fire, and frostbite. And of course you can also trade your gold coins to silver coins and trade in silver coins for bronze coins, yada yada yada. So there is a list of the goodies you can get. Also over in the DDO store, you can buy an elixir of frosty luck. If you drink that elixir, it's going to grant your character an additional +5 bonus to the chance of finding Snow Peaks coins and keys in the chest that you loot. The effect will last for the next hour that you are logged in and in a quest. The effect timer will pause when you're in public areas, and that is a single use. So you buy it, you drink it, you get an hour. You want it again, you got to buy it again. And then also you can buy the frozen keys to get transported into the Snow Peaks Challenge. If you're unlucky enough to not get a key to drop, you can buy them in the store just like you can with the Night Rebels.
All right. Now, is there a minimum level for this?
Not that I'm aware of, but I am unsure exactly because I kind of glanced at the forums before the show, and from what I was seeing, I think you only get the champions that drop the keys if you run Elite and Reaper. From what I saw, that champions do not spawn in any lower difficulties. If I'm wrong, please let me know. Send an email to podcast@ddoplayers.com, or you can just respond in the thread over on the forums for this episode that I'll start, or on the DDO Players site or the YouTube video itself, if I'm wrong about that. But from what I gathered, just a cursory read of the forums before the show started, you only get the champions in Elite and Reaper.
So in other words, I'll never see a champion.
Right. So in other words, when I play with you, we're never going to be able to do this. But Saba Jade and I might see some because I'm assuming, since we're not running Elite, but we're running Legendary, so an Epic, I'm assuming it'll drop in there. I don't know. Like I said, somebody please steer me straight on that because the forums were kind of confusing. But yes, Snowpeaks Festival. So yay! I will find out, and after I can actually do this and see what it's like. But I mean, it sounds kind of cool.
Well, rather frigid, yes.
I wondered if you were going to get what I did there, but thank you for seeing my joke, Pine Leaf. I appreciate it.
Let's then head into the DDO market, which apparently they were hinting at a while that they were going to be updating the market, and it looks like that day is finally here.
Yes, Cordovan posted over on the forums as of today, which was January 11th is when this went live. The new DDO market function. Wow, that is a hard word for me to say tonight. Functionality. Wow, that English hard. You will no longer need to redeem a code when making DDO market purchases. Your purchases will be directly applied to your game account. So keep that in mind. You don't redeem a code. If you go into the market, you see something, you buy it, boom, it's on your game account automatically for you. If you have made a purchase in the DDO market before January 11th, 2021, your redemption code will still be valid and you should apply it in game as usual. And the current expansion offer is at the top, and the older expansions are going to be below that in the list, so it's going to be easier to find whatever new expansion is out for the game. That's going to be in the first, and there's also a new tab in there for special offers. And there are 2 new of those special offers in the DDO market. Now remember, this is the DDO market we're talking about, not the DDO store. This is the DDO market that you go to the website to, so it's cash money. You're not paying DDO points, you're paying real world cash money. So keep that in mind. This is not the in-game store, but the market.
It's where you buy things like expansions.
Yes. And you can buy points and other stuff too, but mainly it's for the expansions, yes. But yes, there is 2 new special offers in there now. There is the DDO expansion trove, and there's a new version of the DDO starter bundle. Wow, words. Words hard tonight. Let's take a drink of beer and see if that helps.
Oh yeah, that's going to help a great deal.
That might be why I can't talk now, but hey, we'll see. Okay, now we're good. Okay, the new DDO starter bundle is $9.99, so just about $10. You're going to get the Dragonborn race. You get the favorite soul class. You also get the Catacombs Adventure Pack. It does include a level 3 cleric hireling that you can use on your quest. Remember, with that cleric hireling, you only get 1 of those per world. So whichever character that you use it on, that's the one that's going to get that hireling.
What was that hireling? Wasn't she? What was she originally associated with? Was she with the first of the expansions or something like that?
I can't remember if she was in like the first expansion. She might have been in the original starter bundle.
I didn't know I had bought an original starter bundle.
Whatever it is, I have it because I always get her, and I know I bought I think she was in the original starter bundle.
Yeah, I never understood why things like this, where in Lotro you get 1 for each character, while in DDO with the hireling you only get 1.
It's 1 per world. I don't know.
It's 1 per world.
Actually, I never understood that either.
But with the other hirelings that you get these days, the ones that you get with the expansions, like with the Feywild, every single character gets the
right. I don't know. I don't know why it's weird the way they choose to do some of this stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, that is the new starter bundle in the marketplace for $9.99. And then there is the new DDO expansion trove. This is a trove of expansion content for a low bundle price. It is going to include expansion content from previous years, as well as gives you access to epic destinies. So you can experience different worlds of adventure. This is going to cost you $59.99. This is actually not a bad deal if you don't own any of these. We're just going to say $60 because it's a penny shy of $60. So for $60, you're going to get the Mist of Ravenloft, the Shadowfell Conspiracy, Menace of the Underdark, and also access, to the epic destinies. So that is not a bad deal for $60 because you're getting 3 expansions and Epic Destinies. So not a bad deal at all, I don't think. Personally, I think that's a pretty decent deal. So if you happen to, I know we picked up a lot of new players during last year when they had everything pretty much open. You could run anything. A lot of people started playing then. Maybe they didn't have any of these expansions. This would be a good way to get 3 expansions. Just boom. That's a lot of content you're getting for $60. So it's a pretty good deal, I think. But anyway, that is the DDO expansion trove that is in the DDO market.
Now let's head on and see what is in the Chronicle for this week, where we had the Chronicle issue number 408, and that looks like a I think that's the cottage, isn't it? Or is that someplace else?
Looks like the cottage. Pretty sure that's what it is.
Yeah, it's hard to think of something as a cottage when it's that large.
Right. It's a little big cottage, but sure. Yes, 408th Chronicle. Community Spotlight this week. A player called Fack is tracking the trade-in. He is going to show you everything he got when he traded in his festival coins this year. He kept track of everything. So if you like spreadsheets and you like crunchy numbers and you like looking at how the RNG favors some people and not myself, take a look at this. The link for that leads you over to the forum post for that. It was pretty cool to actually see what he was getting with all this stuff. That's way more involved than I want to get with keeping track of all that. But good on you, sir. Good on you. We've got, of course, the fan site news section, as always. DDO Cast is continuing its look back at the previous year. Click over and check out the latest episode of DDO Cast. We got a shout out for our look back at 2020 as well. DDO Stream, of course, is your first stop on DDO for all things Twitch on the official channel. We got brighter days ahead, kicking off the new year. Bard Life is a wealthy warforged. D&D Night on DDO Stream is bringing the tabletop to D&D with the Rime of the Frost Maiden. So check out that group as they're running through the latest adventure from WotC. Elsewhere on Twitch, Stream Time gets shocking. Voodoo Spice has coffee in a chat. Little coffee talk with Voodoo Spice. And Brackart does epic questing on Kenneth. And then YouTube, lots of people making DDO videos on YouTube. Axel is taking a look to see what is the most popular quest in DDO. Mickey is doing some tank testing. Say that a couple times fast. And Roving Guns is sharing a build for pugging raids. So check all that out over on YouTube and Twitch. We have our Chronicle comment, which I'm going to be honest, I didn't even look at the question yet, so I'm going into this blind.
Uh-oh.
What does the drinking water in Stormreach taste like?
What does the drinking water in Stormreach taste like?
Wow, Pine Leaf is actually at a loss for words.
The only
kind of
word
impressed.
that I can think of is water. What else is it gonna taste like?
I mean, yeah, it's water, I guess. Unless you get some like flavored stuff, and maybe you can get some cobalt flavored water or something. I don't know. I never much thought about it, but okay.
Well, yeah, usually the kobolds live in the sewers, not in the cisterns.
Okay, there is that. So apparently the answer is water.
I mean, I hope you have a better answer than I do.
I don't, actually. I got nothing. Like I said, I didn't prepare for that. I forgot all about it because usually I look at the question and I try to think of a funny answer, and I got nothing for that one off the top of my head. So we're just going to go with water. What a boring answer to the question this week.
Okay. Actually, since it's called Stormreach.
Okay, it tastes like rainwater.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
I thought I saw where you were going, so there we go. Okay. Our answer is a little better. Rainwater. That is our answer this week. Sorry, it's not our best answers to the Chronicle comment. We'll do better next week.
I'm sorry. Pine Leaf logic.
Right, exactly. Screenshot of the week this week is Thormir takes one last look at the Winter Games. That's in the 492nd DDO screenshot of the week. And that is from Retired Old Gamer. I love that handle. He sent that screenshot in this week. It's a pretty little screenshot.
That concludes what is happening in DDO this week. So let's see what's coming in from the dungeon. Where WotC announces a new hardcover book, Candlekeep Mysteries. It's this. What are people stealing from the Candlekeep library, and Inspector
I would hope not.
Clouseau is
right.
is trying to solve it.
Who done it?
Yes.
It was the butler with the candlestick. But anyway, new book, Candlekeep Mysteries. This is an anthology book of 17 mystery-themed adventures, each centered around a single book found inside of the iconic Candlekeep library. All these adventures, mainly written by new authors, are intended to be played as one-shots, either in person or online. You can simply drop them into an existing campaign you're running, or you can just run them as a little fun one-shot if you would like. Candlekeep Mysteries is perfect for the Dungeon Master who is looking to inject some new characters, new story hooks, magic items, and monsters into their game without having to do a lot of prep. It will be available fairly soon, actually on March 16th. Just like all the other books, there is going to be your standard cover, and then your friendly local game store is going to get an alternate cover as well. The Candlekeep Mysteries is an adventure tome that will give you plenty of adventures to run through. They go from levels 1 all the way up to 20, so you can pretty much do the whole gamut of adventures. Book is available to pre-order now. You can find it wherever you mainly pre-order books, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, any other online retailer. Also, if you want the alternate cover, go to your friendly local game store, which we always do say, try to go to your FLGS first, especially in these times with COVID and all of that. Your friendly local game store really needs your business. So you can either... Lonely. Yeah, they are getting lonely. You can either order the regular cover or the alternate cover that only the FLGSs are getting. If not, you can just get the regular cover. But pre-order now, coming out March 16th. So not too far of a wait. I'm just kind of like meh on this. I mean, I don't know. I guess it's okay. It didn't. I'll be honest. When I got this press release from WotC, I was like not jumping up and down about it.
Oh, you're wondering whether or not to give your FLGS a hand?
Well, I'm kind of in the weird situation where I really don't have to do that because I'll get them from WotC for review anyway. So I don't actually have to buy it. So I'm kind of like but if let's just say I wouldn't get a review copies of this is one I don't actually know if I would buy, to be honest, because it doesn't, I don't know. I'm just kind of meh on it. I guess it's nice to have adventures you can just run as a one shot if you have to, or if you're running out of ideas for like a campaign you're doing, you can just kind of like slide this into your campaign. I kind of like that aspect of it, but without actually seeing a sample of like what the adventures are like, I don't know if I could recommend this I guess, yeah, that's just how I kind of am on it now. But
Well, we'll see what happens when the review copy comes
yeah,
through.
like I said, I'm almost positive we'll get this. We usually tend to get stuff from WotC for review, so maybe I'll change my mind, or maybe I won't like it at all. I guess we'll find out. But you can go over on DDO Players. There is a link there where you can pre-order from Amazon if you would like. Or as I said, go to your friendly local game store. It also lists all the authors that have done the adventures in here. Most of these people, if you shop the DMs Guild, will be familiar to you. Most of these are DMs Guild authors. Of course, there is some big names in here, like Mr. Chris Perkins. He did an adventure in here. And Adam Lee, he did an adventure as well. So there are some, like, quote-unquote big name writers in here as well. But most of the adventures, looks like, are done by just DM Guild's authors.
Very well. Now, speaking of giving a hand, or perhaps maybe getting a hand from your local game store, I hear that Vecna is doing a giveaway.
I want this. I want this. I'm like, I have not actually pre-ordered this yet. I'm tempted. I'm so freaking tempted to order this. And I think when it's all said and done at the end of the day, I'm eventually going to buy this, I think. Because I've talked about the Hand and Eye of Vecna on the show before. Right. I have a history with the Hand and Eye in my former DDO games, or D&D games, I should say, that I played. Plus, it's Vecna. But yes, you too can display the Hand and the Eye of Vecna. Perfect for a spot of honor in your game room, or on display in your game store even. Now you can add both of these relics to your collection. The Bloodshot Golden Green Eye measures 1.5 and perches between the fingers of the companion Hand of Vecna. The Shriveled Mummified Hand measures about 7.5 in length, and its nest for all to see upon a red swath of satin in a bell jar display case. The wooden display base measures just about 7 inches, while the glass cover that will cover the hand and the eye stands about 10.5 inches in height. You can pre-order this now. I know you can get it on the D&D mini site, and I'm pretty sure most of your FLGSs you can order this too. MSRP on this is $129.99. But oh my god, I want this Pine Leaf. I want this so bad. I just, like, when I saw this, I was like, okay, I need this. I need this. I don't want this. I need this.
Oh boy!
Because
Vecna calls.
What better conversation piece would you have? Somebody walks in to my house and they see a shriveled hand and an eye, and they're like, "What the hell is that?" And I'm like, "That's the hand and the eye of Vecna. Don't touch. Don't touch."
Yeah,
it is
perilous. Very perilous.
But yeah, this is just freaking cool. So, like I said, I haven't. I've kind of talked myself out of it so far, but we'll see. Yeah, we'll see if I keep talking myself out of it. But we'll see. This is freaking amazing. Do I need it? Not really. Do I want it? Hell yeah, I want it.
Very well. Then let's go and see what's going on tabletop.
I can't believe that's. I mean, I figured you would have more to say about that. I can't believe that's all you said about it.
Well, what? You expect me to go and dribble about the hand?
Well, no. I figured I would get a stern talking to about wanting to buy the Hand and Eye of Vecna.
Well, I have a feeling I would probably not be very successful in whatever I said.
Probably not.
So I thought, let's head to the world of Origins, where it looks like they have already decided that it will wait until fall. Well, we'll see whether that actually
Yeah,
happens
I
or
gotta
not.
say, we'll see.
But tentatively, it is. But they'll, assuming that everyone in the country is vaccinated by the fall.
Yeah, we'll see. I still don't think this is going to happen, nor do I think Gen Con is going to happen, but we'll see. Yeah, Gamma did announce they have decided they are changing the dates for Origins this year. Of course, due to COVID-19 concerns, of course. Originally, Origins was scheduled to take place June 16th through June 20th in Columbus, Ohio, as always. Gamma has now moved it back a little bit, September 30th through October 3rd. They are hoping that with the news of the vaccines being distributed, and reports from the CDC that community events and conventions should, and I use a big should in big quotes and flashing letters there, should be able to resume later in the year. They have made the decision to move to September 30th through October 3rd. Of course, they did cite safety is their primary concern, and we believe holding Origins later in the year will provide the best path forward to have an in-person event this year. They are working with other game convention organizers to develop guidelines for safe events, including, but not limited to, requiring face mask. Social distancing, good luck with that.
Social distancing at a gaming convention, that will be...
Good luck with that. Especially at Gen Con, good luck with that.
You can't even play a board game event without being within 6 feet of each other.
So yeah, I don't know how any of that would work. Temperature checks and of course hand sanitizing stations. The Gamma does say in the interim they do encourage everyone to help fight the pandemic by wearing your mask, social distance, washing your hands, and getting the vaccine when you are able to get it. Together we can work towards returning back to normal. And they did go on to say they're monitoring the COVID-19 situation and they will provide updates as they get closer to the event. Exhibitor and sponsor information will be available in February, and badge registration is tentatively scheduled to open up in March. So we'll see. But right now, Gamma's hopeful they can pull it off in September. I don't know.
Because one thing for sure is I am definitely not signing up for a gaming convention this year.
I don't know how. I just do not know how you could do it safely, because you could. I don't know how you're going to social distance. I really don't. Because the only way to social distance is you're going to have to cut your badge registrations like immensely. You're going to have less people there. You're going to have to limit the amount of people you have everywhere. It's I don't know. I don't see how it's going to work.
Social distancing at a gaming convention is
for like Origins and Gen Con. No, I don't see how you're going to social distance. And like you said, how are you going to do game events? You couldn't sit around a table. If you do, you're going to be so spread out, you couldn't play a board game. I mean, it would work for like role-playing games. Sure, that would work okay. You could be spread around a big table for like an RPG. But to play a board game? No, I do not know how this is going to work. But we'll see. Like I said, Gamma is hopeful. Gen Con, all eyes are on Gen Con because they're up first in August. So we'll see if Gen Con chooses to move. But see, then you're getting into the problem. Okay, Gen Con is in August. Origins is now in September. So if Gen Con would elect to move, if they would even be able to move to a different date, where are they going to move to? Because they couldn't go that weekend because it's Origins. and then I don't know even, like what else. I don't know. It's just, I just feel
Yeah,
sorry
there'd
for.
be no play because if you go a reasonable distance past Origin's date, you're going to start to get into the time of the year where the weather is going to
Right.
be
And in Indiana,
bad.
weather is really unpredictable in starting about the end of October till the end of the year. It's like we could get ice, we could get rain. It's just Indiana's weather is weird in end of October on. So I don't know. I feel for Gamma and for Gen Con to try to plan this around all this, how you do it, how you do it safely. I don't think you can,
I'm
but
still
I
trying to figure out how
guess
they're
we'll
going to
see.
manage to do the Olympics.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to happen. I don't know. It's so much. I just,
Yeah.
but I was hoping we would be past all this by now and we could get back to our conventions, but I don't think so. I just don't. I'm not going to go on record quite yet and say that we're not going to have any conventions at all in 2021, but I kind of think 2021 is going to be an exact copy of 2020 where we're going to have online conventions and that's it. But I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to go on the record right now and say there's going to be no Gen Con and Origins this year, but it's going to be hard for them to pull it off. And then I have to ask myself, okay, do I feel safe enough to go to both of these conventions and cover them as I do for the site? It's like, do I really want to, do I feel safe going? And I don't know if I would, to be honest. It's just a mess, but we'll see.
Yes,
Hopefully we'll have conventions, but we'll see.
we shall see.
But thankfully, we have solo board games to play.
Yes, and if you're wondering about any solo board games that you would like to play, I have created a list of my top 50 solo board games that I played during the course of 2020. I actually
And I,
created a list of 100, but these but I've only played around 50 or 60 of them during the course of 2020, and those are the ones that are on this list.
yeah, I know you have been talking about this. You were doing this, and you have done this. So now your list is complete. You have gone through
List is
all
complete.
50.
Yes, I have gone through all 50. I posted this during the first few days of the year. So say, all right, this is my farewell to 2020 by saying what games I played, because I certainly had plenty of time to play
Yeah.
solo games. Is what other types of games were you playing during the year?
Well, the question for you is, what didn't you play during last year?
Well, there are games I didn't play because, as I said, I played about 65 different games, I think is my count of how many I actually played over the course of the year. And if there were 100 games on my private list, that means that there are 35 games that I never got to. Now, some of them will be, of course, the other D&D Adventures games, because the only one of those I played was Castle Ravenloft.
Mm. Is that the only one of those that you've ever played, or have you
No,
played the others? Oh,
I've
have you?
played
Okay.
many of the other. I've played many of the others, but I'm not really too keen around the campaign systems that they've created for the various D&D games.
Okay, yeah.
And Castle Ravenloft is the only one of those games that has no campaign mode.
Right.
And actually, I don't think there's a campaign mode really for Legend of Drizzt either.
Yeah, gonna say I don't remember Drizzt having one. It's been a while since
Yeah,
I
you're
played through that.
right. Yeah, Drizzt doesn't have one either, but Drizzt is.
I'm
I have
pretty
a stronger
sure.
connection to Ravenloft than I have to Drizzt, and it's a little strange on the balance on Drizzt. And of course, I can't play all the ones for Drizzt because it also has some competitive ones in there.
Right, true. Yeah, I think it seems like I want to say Temple of Elemental Evil is where they started the whole campaign thing.
Yeah. Well, they do also have a campaign in Wrath of Ashardalin.
Oh, do they? I didn't remember there being a campaign in that.
Yeah, it's not.
But again, been a long time since I played that.
It's not as sophisticated a campaign system as they have, but they do have. So I can't remember the details of it, but there is definitely a campaign one, and it doesn't have this. But it's Temple of Elemental Evil where they created the system that they've been tweaking ever since. Because whatever they did in Wrath of Ashardalin, I think they just dumped that original idea on the campaign. And you can easily play Wrath of Ashardalin without having to worry about the campaign. You could play any of the scenarios without having to worry about the campaign. It might be a little bit tougher on Temple of Elemental Evil, and it's very I think it's outright impossible, for example, for Mad Mage, which I didn't even bother buying for that reason.
I have not played Mad Mage at all yet. I haven't, but to be honest, I haven't even opened it yet. So, but I see you did put a post up on the site with all three of the videos. So you can go over, check them out, watch them, and find out what Pineleaf thought of the games and how he ranked them.
And I'm sure that there's some games in there that some people are going to say, "What? Why isn't this on the list?" Sorry. That's the way it goes. Listen to our week in gaming. And Drac, what were you up to?
I played some games. Gosh darn it! Yeah, I know, it's crazy, isn't it? It's like, what? You're playing games? What is this crazy talk? Yeah, actually played DDO. Believe it or not. Oh my God! It's the end of the world as we know it. Yeah, over on Argo, Saba, Jade, and I started playing again. Of course, this is where I'm trying to get to, I don't know, some level. Last year my goal was 28. This year I don't have a goal because I just said insert whatever crap goal here that I'll never make. So whatever. This is just, I'm trying to get, the whole point of this started like 2 years ago, I don't know how many years ago, where I wanted to get to at least level 28 so I could run the Haunted Halls of Evening Star. That was the whole point of this crazy thing that I'm doing. One step closer. I'm level 27 now. We were doing a giant hold. We were running, of course, the epic versions of it. So we did the epic versions of Cry for Help, Return to Cabal for 1, Trial by Fire, Return to Prisoner of the Plains, and Return to Giant Hold Tour. Did all those. Got to level 27. So that's awesome. One step closer to being able to actually run Haunted Halls, which is my whole main goal. And then it seems like there was another thing about trying to kill Strahd too, but we'll see about that later. I'm just worried about Haunted Halls for right now.
Okay.
And then we played some other video games. Over on 7 Days to Die, we have our server that we are still playing on. We are on day, I don't know, 60 something or other. We had Horde, and the last Horde base we had to abandon because it had some structural issues. So it wasn't really safe to be in because zombies could pretty much knock it down at any moment. So Tay actually came up with a new Horde-based design. So we tried that out. I've linked the video. Lessa twitched it as we were doing it. You can check out that video. I think it worked out well. I have a complaint though. My teammates killed me, but it's cool. I'll get my revenge. Yeah, the Horde base, you'll have to watch the video. We had it designed where we were like in like corners of the thing and the zombies would run up this little structure and like come to us. Well, you know, RNG and me, the RNG apparently decided I didn't need any zombies to kill. So I hardly got any zombies come to my corner and I got like super bored. So I was like, screw this. I'm just going to go down and start fighting these down below. So I jumped down and I told everybody, I said, I'm jumping down. And they're like, oh, hey, look, Drac's down below. And I'm like, well, of course, that's what I do. So I'm killing stuff away. And all of a sudden a demo zombie came, which if you're not familiar with 7 Days to Die, once you get up into the higher game levels, you get demolition zombies, which when you kill them, they explode. So you have to be careful how you kill them. And you have to make sure that you get back when they're dying, because they'll explode and they'll kill you. So I'm killing these zombies and I see this demo zombie. So I start working on him and I'm watching his health because we are playing on a modded server. We can actually see zombies' health. And I'm like, okay, this guy's about dead. So I'm going to take one more hit at him because I was actually meleeing him. And then I'm like, I'm going to jump back. Well, the next thing I know, I'm dead. And I'm like, what the hell just happened? And then I hear, oh, sorry, I shot that demo guy. I didn't know you were fighting him. I'm like, I'm standing right in front of him, hitting him with my stun baton. The hell do you think I'm doing? So, yeah. And then, so I zoned back in on my bed. I ran back because it was still Horde night. I'm fighting another zombie and I die again. And I'm like, would you quit shooting the zombies I'm fighting? But Cad actually went back to the video and looked at the evidence. And that time I actually got killed by a zombie. There's cops that spit acid at you and then they blow up as well. That one wasn't anybody's fault. Cad killed me the first time, though. We have video proof that I was killed by Cad the first time. So on the record, my teammates killed me. But it's fine. I understand. And then after that...
Fire.
Exactly. Stupid friendly fire. Then after that, Lessa, Mythery, and Saba and myself played a new game that's in early access. It's called GTFO. I got a gift over the Christmas holidays of this game. If you listen to the Damsels podcast, you heard about if you want him to play, you must sugar mama it up was the quote.
If you want him to have it, you're going to have to sugar mama it up. Come on, open up that wallet. Is that the sound of your wallet?
Yeah.
So my sugar mama got me a game. We'll just leave it at that. So we play this. GTFO is a science fiction / horror / hardcore / first person shooter. You are dropped into this abandoned military base ? Not exactly sure what it is. You're tasked with different tasks. You're trying to go in and do stuff. You're fighting, of course, these weird sleepers, alien type weird thing. To tell you the truth, I don't know what these things are, but they're bizarre. This game is hard, like super, super hard. There is lots of strategy. You can't just go in and run and gun. You have to use stealth. You have to use teamwork. All four of you have to plan out what you're doing. We actually didn't do too bad for really the first time we played, we don't think. I mean, we didn't actually get past a level, but we did pretty good. I've linked in the videos, or in the chat note, the show notes, sorry, to the videos. Lessa was twitching this, so you can kind of watch us. It's really fun.
Is there a single point about this game that doesn't scream, Pine Leaf, stay away?
Oh, you would not like this game at all.
Okay.
Like, at all. No, like, at all. Like from the first moment you start the game up, you would just be like, nope. Nope. Yeah, no. This is definitely not a Pine Leaf friendly game whatsoever.
Okay.
It's hard. I've got some issues with the game as well. I realize it's an early access, so I'm hoping some of this stuff will...
It's been in early access for over a year, right?
Just about. Something like that. I don't know. 7 Days to Die has been in early access for 6 years.
Oh, that's still in early access?
7 years? Yeah, it's still in early access. So. I mean, a year, heck. What's a year? Yeah. Anyway, my biggest problem with the game is to actually get in the matchmaking with your friends is a pain in the ass. You have to jump through so many hoops just to get grouped together so you can actually play the stupid game. So they really need to fix that. There's some other things, but I enjoyed it. It was fun, but it's hard. I'm telling you, it is like super, super hard. So if you like really, really hardcore survival horror, that's a first person, check it out. Watch the videos. Remember, we didn't really know what the heck we were doing because it was like the first time we played it. So we were trying to figure out what stuff does. And like each of you on your team can pick out your loadout because you have different weapons, and then you have a different special thing you can do. So each of you have to have the special thing, and we were trying to figure out. We finally got that to work to where we were all working really well together with our specials, and we were making them work together because there was one point where we opened this door and then this security thing came and it scanned us to make sure that we had access, and we did, but then it set off an alarm, and then to shut off the alarm you had to run to all these little red light circles that came on the floor. But the problem is, while you were running to that, there was like hordes of mobs that came in. So we figured out a pretty good strategy to where we actually got past that because we worked together with our specials, and we were like, oh, hey, you can do this and I can do this. And so I like that aspect of it. It really requires teamwork, and you have to talk and you have to plan. Like I said, you can't just run and gun. You will die, which we found out a couple times. Run and gun does not work. So that is GTFO. So as I said, I've linked 2 videos, so go check that out. That's over on the Damsels Game Twitch, so you can check that out. And then Mythery and Lessa and I played another game that is in early access. It's called Phasmophobia. This is a strange, really strange, hard game. It is a simulation to where you have to go into a house and figure out what kind of ghost is haunting this house, and then you have to check off. There's certain checklist things that you have to do with these ghosts, and then the more things you do, the more money you get. It's hard though. It is super hard, and it is very dark. The game is very, very dark, and I don't mean dark as in like dark themes. I mean, it has dark themes as well, because the one that we did, like, this ghost murdered everybody in the house, but it's like physically dark. It's super dark. Like, it was so dark, Mythery couldn't even see where she was going. And you have flashlights that are worthless. They're like hardly bright at all. Because I was walking behind Lessa, who was carrying a flashlight, and she had it out, and I could barely see like her flashlight from behind her. So it was crazy. I did link a video over in the show notes as well. They left me for dead. The ghost killed me, and they were just like, thoughts and prayers, see ya, and they left me. And I'm like, you seriously are just going to leave me dead in this house? Just like, Les was like, yep, sure am. Like, thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. So check that out. So yeah, that is Phasmophobia. Hard game, strange game. I liked it, but it's got a lot of issues as well. But then again, early access, hopefully it'll get better. And that was pretty much my week. So how about you, finally? It looks like you were up to a bunch again.
Well, first of all, what I did with you in DDO, where I was playing my alchemist, and we played more in the Feywild, where we ran make-believe. Then we went on to do Frost Reception, but on our way there, we stopped by a little area and ran The Knight Who Cried Windmill. Then finally, we did Frost Reception, which was let's just say it takes a little time in order to complete that one.
Yeah, that was a super long quest. That, like, I'm going to save my thoughts on that for when we actually do our proper quote-unquote review of Feywild, but not a big fan of that quest.
Oh, well.
I'll just more when we get actually done playing through it and we review it. But yeah, not a big fan of that quest. I like The Knight Who Cried Windmill, though. So far, that's been my favorite quest we've done in Feywild.
All right. It went a lot better this time, because the first time I did it, I had no clue as to what you were supposed to be doing. And if you don't figure out what you're supposed to be doing in that quest, you think, what's going on?
Yeah, that would make it really hard because, yeah, I didn't know at first. And then you told me, and I'm like, oh, that makes perfect sense.
Okay. So, yeah, there is something you need to figure out in order to be able to get through that one properly. Then, on my Human Alchemist, I reran White Plume Mountain, and I decided, oh, let's see how it goes if I try to cross the mud pit by using the things that are suspended up in the air. So I'm jumping across from one to the other with the help of that one of those plus 30 jump potions that are conveniently sitting right next to the starting point of the jump. So I'm going across each one, and everything's going well, and you got to be careful because there are a couple points where these things bubble up and can push you out, and I mistimed one, got pushed aside, and must have pushed me right smack into the middle of the mud bath. And even though I had a elemental protection spell on me, I was still burned to a crisp.
Oh, jeez.
So that ended that. So when I did another run of it later, I said, all right, I'm not going to even attempt to jump that thing this time. So I went through there. I went through the bottom route, and this time the bugbears, for some reason, because this is the first time I can remember in doing this quest where the bugbears were constantly shooting at me while I was approaching the area. And on top of that, they were shooting me when I was fighting the mudmen. Usually, I don't recall the bugbears being a problem until I got to the top. But I was harassed all the way through.
Yeah, it's been so long since I did that. I don't really remember, to be honest.
Yeah, but they harassed me all the way up while I was going through there, and I think I barely managed to get through that because I had to worry about the bugbear shooting at me, while, of course, at the same time, I'm trying to worry about all these mudmen.
Right, jeez.
So that was a bit of a problem. Maybe I should have not talked to him because I think that if I stepped back and tossed a few potions at the bugbears, I might have been able to shut them up long enough or maybe kill one or two of them so that I could have got through that without worrying about it. But that's not what happened. Once that was all done, of course, I eventually got to the vampire. I can only think that my character just didn't feel like it's built for White Plume. Something about White Plume Mountain is that each of those boss encounters are really, really tough on my character, and it's the toughest I could ever remember having when I'm running through White Plume Mountain. And that vampire, the vampire managed to kill me and my hireling, but my hireling got off a raise dead spell just before dying. So I was able to get back up.
Oh, well, that's handy.
And I got knocked down again, but not low enough to die. So then my health came back up again, and I tossed down a healing grenade, which is probably my favorite weapon to use against a vampire anyways, that's undead. So I managed to eventually get myself healed up enough and finally killed that vampire. Oh, boy. The other two bosses, because I remember having quite a trip with the crab and had quite a bit of trouble with the third boss, but I managed to finally get rid of the boss. After those three bosses, the Ifrits at the end were easy. And that was the easiest fight I had in the entire thing, were the Ifrit at the end. You would think that would be the toughest thing to fight. No, that was simple compared to that stupid vampire. So yes, that all went through there, and I managed to get through it, and I'm glad I'm done. So I have to see what I have to do on that point. I'm just trying to think, if I had so much trouble with that vampire, do I really want to do Curse of Strahd? We'll have to see how I feel when that comes along. Unfortunately, there are many things that don't involve vampires in that adventure. Then I created a human artifice because I said that I'll be creating a new character to play throughout the year, and so I created that. And I went through. Oh boy, what do they call? Oh boy, I completely drew a blank as to the name. Korthos, that's it. Korthos.
Okay, how could you forget Korthos?
I don't know, but that name was just slipping through my mind. Anyway, I ran through all of Korthos in there, because usually I've been running lately Keep of the Borderlands, but since there were a couple of changes in Korthos, I wanted to see, all right, what's changed in Korthos since the last time I played it? And there are three things that I noticed along the way. One of them is that those chests that are dropped by the rares that you've faced along the way in there, they dropped things other than that stupid ring that it seemed to always drop whenever I fought those rares in the past, because I think there was like one, maybe two different types of rings that you can get in there, and it was like always the same thing that I would get whenever I did in there. So this is the first time that I ever saw different drops out of those chests, and each of the three rares had a completely different drop. And I think some of them were actually looked like they'll be potentially useful.
Wow, imagine that.
Imagine that. So I think I had a few more useful things in here that I normally had out of Korthos, which is maybe they needed to bump up the drops a little bit to compete against Keep of the Borderlands. So I managed to do that and get all the way through there. Now, the second thing that I noticed is in Sacrifices, where it was nice to see that ranged weapons now work against those webs, because that was always a problem that I had in Sacrifices and some other ones where ranged weapons were completely useless. I remember one time where I was doing that quest where I would literally attack the webs unarmed so that I could get through them. So this time I just a couple of shots with the repeating crossbow and I was through. So that was nice. And of course, I also tried out the new thing in the room where they finally gave a use for all of those things down at the bottom where you can get a chest. And you had to be careful in that one because I think you really need to bring your ring of water breathing with you if you're going to get that chest, because I don't know how it's possible in order to get into that area, swim to it, open up the chest, grab the loot in the chest, and get back out before you start taking damage in there. But after I tried that and saw that, oh my goodness gracious, I ran out of air and got out without picking up the treasure, I would put on the ring of water breathing because I still had it in my inventory, and then went back in, and then it was easy after that. I don't know what they changed in Misery's Peak, but I could not do any damage to the Mind Sunder. Absolutely. As far as I could tell, maybe 1 out of 10 times when I tried to do anything to it, I was able to scratch the thing. Fortunately, my dog was able to damage it, but I don't recall it being so difficult to hurt the Mind Sunder with repeating crossbow, but I couldn't scratch the thing.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so I'm not too sure. I think I tried the rune arm one or twice. I might have done a little bit of a scratch on that, but yeah, I was doing no real damage to it whatsoever. So I don't know what that was all about, whether that was an intentional change, whether it was a bug, whether something funny was going on. I have no idea, but I couldn't really do it. That was the longest it ever took me by far in order to destroy that thing. It took me several minutes. And yeah. Just be thankful that this is the character that I said I'm doing absolutely no videos with. That would have been a really boring video, I think, trying to destroy the Mind Sunder at the end there.
That bad, huh?
Yeah. That was it for DDO. Then in Minecraft, I ran the first 2 maps for the January Mage Rage, where usually in Mage Rage, they have a special thing that is going to make things tougher on you during the course of the month. For example, last month it had a special snow, and that if a snowball fell from the sky and hit a block, it would cause the block to turn to snow. So it was a real pain going through all there. And this month, it actually was that your middle spells cooldown time would be halved. And I mean, that has got to be the first time that the special for the month was something that helped you instead of hurt you. So I think Ed was being nice to us after, must have been in a good mood during Christmas when he was probably designing the levels for January. So it was nice to have a break on that. Now on tabletop, I played a little bit more micro RPG, and I played an adventure called Through the Frosted Wood, and I haven't beaten this adventure yet. I've tried it twice, and in both cases, I say, all right, this is it. I'm returning. So I returned with a little bit so I could maybe start to buy some better equipment so that maybe someday I could get in there and be able to survive more than a couple of turns in there. So right now, maybe I'll try the adventure again with my character, and now I have a little bit better equipment, and maybe, just maybe, I could survive all the way through. We'll see. Then I played Cartographers for the monthly challenge for Cartographers. I had what looked like a decent total in there, but I looked at the scores for the other people who've been trying this month's challenge, and I looked at it, oh boy, goodness gracious, this is a high scoring month, and I had the lowest score of anyone who had done the challenge. So it's like, okay, well, so much for that. I need to get better at Cartographers, obviously. Then I ran a couple of battles in Battle Cry, where I ran the first battle of Bull Run and Pea Ridge. So those were an interesting pair of scenarios. Then Fire in the Library, and that was the first time I've played that game. There again, too, I have 3 new games here that I've never played before. The first of the new games is Fire in the Library, where the object of the game is to save books before the library burns down, pretty much. Then after that, I played Encore, which is another new game for me, which is a roll and write game. And then finally, the other final new game is Super Skill Pinball, which is a roll and write game, obviously with a pinball game that tries to simulate a pinball machine. And I don't think, yeah, and I don't think I did very well on that, because I think they said your target score is 100, and I believe I scored 88 on the ball, because the idea there is where you roll is when you go down, because each time you go down, you drop down a zone, or you could drop down more than one zone if the dice you're trying to roll against don't have anything in the zone you're going down to. And yeah, things that didn't all go over too well in there, so I have to see how I go on that sometime in the future. Then I played 2 games of Commands and Colors Ancient, and this time I played the battles of Bagradas and Takinas River. Then finally, I pulled out Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion, where I played 3 different scenarios, so I had to repeat one of them. I started to go deeper, and this was a section where I reached level 4, right? Yes, I reached levels 3 and 4 during the course of this, and it's very easy to get beat up when you're doing this, because right when you cross a threshold where the enemies are now go up in level and become tougher, that's when usually things feel a lot tougher on there. So I had a little bit of trouble on there. When I did the rerun, I decided to rerun it on the easy setting so that I could get through it. So I managed to get through there, and now I'm getting pretty close to level 5. And when I get to level 5, that'll be nice, because they have the level 5 cards. The level 5 to 9 cards are in a special packet that says, do not read this until you reach level 5. Read other side as instructions.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if what's on the back of that card is telling you to open up one of those mystery boxes that I haven't opened up yet, because I have no idea what's in those boxes. And I'm wondering if one of those boxes is open when you first hit level 5. I suppose I'm going to find out when the time comes and I get to open up the box and see what's going on. And is it something really interesting? Is it saying really, or what? I'm hoping that maybe next week I'll be able to know how good or meh that particular item is. So
stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Because I think in my next game, unless I really am crushed into a pulp, I think after my next run, I should be able to get up to level 5 and then be able to see what's inside there. Now, of course, the bad news is when I hit level 5, I'm going to have another bump in the power of the monsters, which is probably why they chose level 5 for it, is maybe to help you with that little power bump that's going to happen. And that's it for my week in gaming. We currently have...
Oh, hold on. I forgot one thing in my week in DDO.
Ooh.
Our week in gaming, whatever the hell we call that section of the show. It's been so long, I don't even remember what we call this section of the show. This Friday night, the Waterdeep Dwarves are going back into the Dungeon of the Mad Mage. That is over on Evil Beaker's Twitch channel. I will have a link in the show notes for this. I will talk about it next week, of course, and let you know what happens. But it's been a while since we played. Excited to get back into the dungeon. And hopefully, will this be the week I become my drow self again and I'm not a stinking dwarf anymore? We'll see. We'll see.
We will see. We currently have 16 supporters on Patreon, and if you'd like to help support DDO players, you can go to the donations page. We can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. Your money will be used for podcast hosting, website hosting, and to pay for our live shows. And Drac, I think you had something to say here?
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you very much. We, in the past couple weeks, have picked up several new patrons. We appreciate it so much. This means so much to us that all of you are willing to help support us monthly to keep the lights on, as it were. All your help really does help us because we're not getting paid for this, folks. We do this because we want to do this. But, we have the website hosting all of our domain names, Mixler, how we broadcast our shows live and record our shows. We have to pay for that. So all of the patrons really do help. It's because of you we can keep doing the show, which is amazing. So just thank you so much, especially to all the, I think we picked up 4 new people just in the past couple months. And just thank you.
We did not receive any emails this week, but if you'd like to send us one, you can send it to podcast@ddoplayers.com. You can also follow us on Twitter, the Players Alliance @PlayersAlly, DDO Players @DDO Players, Dracula @Dracula_72, and Piney Fat Piney Needles. The Players Alliance has 2 shows on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. US Eastern Time. We have DDO Players News, and on Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. US Eastern Time, we have Electro Players News. You can subscribe to our shows at ddoplayers.com/live. And that's all for tonight, then. This is Piney Needles reminding you to quest responsibly.